Look, let's face it, the tried and true Mario formula has gotten old. The princess gets taken by Bowser, he runs off to a faraway land, and then this guy right here has to go through world after world, taking out innocent civilians before finally defeating Bowser and getting friend-zoned again by Peach. While it was a good approach for a while, Mario's honestly gotten bored of it. It's clear that both Bowser and Peach are in on this little prank, and they just like watching him run from castle to castle in hopes that maybe for once, Peach might actually be in the first one he checks instead of the last, which of course, never happens. So, what if he decided to take this prank of theirs and turn it into his own little game? Instead of trying to get to Peach in hopes that maybe Bowser will be stopped once and for all, why not push the limits of what he's truly capable of? Welcome to the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe Nuzlocke, a challenge that greatly increases the stakes because, let's face it, Mario's gonna fall asleep from boredom otherwise. In this challenge, Mario and his pal- Wait a minute! Who the heck is that guy? Can someone get him out of here, please? In this challenge, Mario and his pals will do their best to save the Mushroom Kingdom once again, but this time, there's no extra lives. If they happen to trip over a Goomba and stumble into a pit, or find themselves between two walls that happen to be closing in on them, well, their run is over. Run out of characters to play? Well, it looks like Princess Peach is going to be waiting just a little bit longer then. Oh, and to keep it interesting, I've banned any secret exits or shortcuts that allow you to skip a large portion of the game from being used, and every time the game splits into two paths, both levels must be played before moving on. Alright, let's jump right into it and see if this is the spark that Mario needs to save the Mushroom Kingdom once again. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. How far will we get in our first run today? Starting up with the big man himself, Mario. Feeling totally at ease with the situation, Mario and friends jumped into the challenge with a renewed sense of passion and drive. For once in their lives, they weren't going through the process of chasing after the princess and trying to save the world because they had to. They were doing it because they wanted to. That reflected in the first run as well, with Mario having absolutely no issues to start. Flying through stage after stage, he quickly racked up the clears. There were a few close calls. I actually am probably gonna buy a beanbag, but I'm gonna put it in my- Oh! Oh, what? That might have been the most insane save of all time. Holy buckets, we're still alive, dude. But for the most part, he was holding strong. World 1, World 2, World 3, all taken care of with no problems. Just a little over an hour into his first run, when it was seeming like this challenge would be accomplished on the first try, the improbable happened. Ah! It's over. A missed jump. That was all it took. Up to this point, Mario had fought countless enemies across the first 3 worlds and even taken out a handful of castles. And yet, a single jump meant his run was over. It wasn't all bad, however, as he did have backup, his brother Luigi. Taking the reins where Mario left off, Luigi stormed into the same level his brother failed to complete, and making sure to be extra careful in this jumping section, I made sure I did not get trolled there. Made it through in one piece. The nerves were definitely a bit higher for the squad. The main man of the entire bunch was no longer able to lead the group, and with only 4 more attempts and the second, harder half of the journey still to go, everyone would have to really carry their weight equally if they wanted to accomplish the goal that they had set out for themselves. Doing his best to make his brother proud, Luigi proved to be fairly formidable as well, finishing up all of World 4, taking down Bowser's own BJR on his airship, and storming into World 5 with a renewed sense of determination, after shaking off the jitters he originally felt whenever his brother's run came to an end. However, it wasn't far into World 5 when Luigi ran into an enemy he wasn't very familiar with. The Bramball. Now, these little guys are interesting, as they only exist in a handful of levels in the entire Mario universe. This means that their movement is a bit more unpredictable than the common Goomba or Koopa. The first half of the level went well for him, with him actually hitting the checkpoint to indicate that he had made good progress. But that's when he got greedy. He went for the green coin ring, which would allow him a chance at a higher tiered power-up, and therefore more stability as he approached the second half of the stage. Unfortunately for him, due to his lack of knowledge of the Bramball, he miscalculated a jump when moving to the side and... No, dude! Game over. But it was okay. There were still 3 tries left for the group to succeed in their first ever attempt, and all 3 of those attempts lived in the hands of these guys right here. The Toad Squad. Picking up right where Luigi left off, Blue Toad stormed into the stage nervous, but determined to not go out without even completing a single level. However, because he was respawning from the checkpoint, he was thrown right into the thick of the Bramball chaos with no power-up, which definitely stacked the cards against him. Playing it safe, he made sure not to rush himself, and before he knew it, the Bramballs were just a distant memory to him as he moved on, taking out stage after stage in the brutal World 5. As he approached the end of the world, it was in this ghost house where things took an unexpected turn, to say the least. As Blue Toad attempted to work his way through the stage, he was nearing the end and just simply waiting for the floor to rise in this section of the level, which was essentially an auto-scroller, making sure to keep the boos near him at bay as it traveled upwards. Now, 9 times out of 10, this would have normally been fine, but there was another thing on this level that he wasn't thinking about: the blocks in the middle of the stage. In what can only be described by an incredibly unfortunate series of events, it was here that Blue Toad met his demise in the most embarrassing way possible. Oh god! I didn't even know you could get crushed by a block. Well, rip Toad. Time for McDonald's, Toad. So in went Yellow Toad, one of the final remaining members of the squad, to finish what his friend had originally started. As Yellow Toad worked his way through the ghost house, he took a minute to think about the journey ahead. He was only halfway through World 5, and with 3 entire worlds ahead of him, the cards were definitely stacked up high. This didn't off-put him too much, though, as he tore through the remainder of World 5 with no issues and quickly made his way through World 6 as well, with only a handful of close calls along the way. Dude. Oh my god, the iframes. Re-knock him to set back up. The timer. Close one, dude. Very close. As he took out the big sumo bro and neared the end of World 6, it was beginning to feel possible after all. Maybe the squad really could do this on their first try. Maybe this really was too easy. And then, shifting floor cave. The final level, standing between Yellow Toad and the boss of World 6, this level is littered with swoops and constantly shifting platforms. Normally, this level would be fairly trivial, but with no power-ups to his name, Yellow Toad had to get through the entire beginning of the level without being touched by a single enemy. And man, do those swoops have some pretty hard-to-dodge movement patterns. He was hanging on alright and nearing the halfway of the level when he was just a little too late for the platform cycle. Oh my god, I'm actually hardcore stressing right now. We need to... right in the Krungus, dude. I'm actually terrified. Okay, well, we're on to Toadette. We only have Toadette left. Now it was all on the group's ringer, the ace in the hole, Toadette, to get it done. The thing about Toadette is that her movement is slightly different than everyone else in the group. When swimming, she has much more control over her direction, and when in the air, she can turn on a dime. On paper, it should be much easier to navigate with her, and yet... Toadette, she just has like a little bit better control. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's gonna be the end of the Nuzlocke run. We're done for today. Alright. Thanks for watching, everyone. She didn't even make it through a single level. While she has the potential to carry the run, if she's not well practiced and able to take advantage of her added control, she might just make things even harder on herself. After day 1, the group had made it far, but with over 2 worlds still left to go, they had a lot of work to do if they wanted to save the princess on their own terms. A week later, the group reconvened to try again, but this time things were a little bit different. While it was great having a group of 5 people traveling from level to level to keep morale up, let's face it, having 2 Toads instead of just 1 was weighing everyone down. So this time around, one of them was left back at the castle. Perhaps shaken up after a rough first attempt, Mario's nerves got the best of him to start day 2, taking an incredibly early death in the first castle of World 2 in possibly the most embarrassing way possible. If there were like DLC... What? That one crushes you? Oh crap, dude. Alright. Well, there's our first death. I actually didn't remember that. Oh, crap. Okay, we're going to Luigi then. His brother, on the other hand, proved to have his act together much better than before. Tearing through the remainder of World 2, World 3, World 4, World 5, and into World 6, he was on an absolute tear. What was seeming like a doomed attempt from the start all of a sudden had hope, and this time it would all be because of the man in green. With his confidence at an all-time high, Luigi hopped into Screwtop Tower, the midway point of World 6. It was a pretty trivial level on the first attempt, so failure wasn't even a possibility in Luigi's mind. The beginning of the level started fine, but after the checkpoint, things didn't quite go as planned. Due to an early hit by this sumo bro and some messed up movement on this moving platform, Luigi's previous confidence was gone in an instant. Doing his best to recover, he opted to try for a set of optional red coins at the end of the stage to earn himself a tier 2 power-up for the boss. Seem familiar? All of a sudden, history repeated itself, and once again, Luigi's greed was the thing that spelled his demise. No, it wasn't worth, dude! Crap. Alright, we're moving on to Toad. Taking the reins where he left off, Toad wasn't feeling great having his first level of the run be such a brutal tower stage, but he did his best, quickly but carefully, picking up the pieces where Luigi dropped them. Before he knew it, he was up against the big man himself, the Sumo Bro boss. Now, he knew this boss very well. After all, his yellow counterpart took this guy out with no problems a week prior. But, due to some poor movement and positioning, even with a fire flower, he fell down on the same level that the person before him did. I think it's partially because of the note blocks. Whoa, my god, dude, this guy's ruining my life. So again, all of the pressure was on Toadette. She couldn't possibly do worse than last week, right? Alright, well, the good news is we can't do worse on Toadette than we did last time. Last time, I lasted about 5 seconds on Toadette. As she approached the boss, she knew 2 runs in a row with no clears would not make her look good. So she dug in her heels, and despite some close calls, just barely managed to take out the Sumo Bro. I hate that guy. But she wasn't out of the woods yet, as the very next level in the run was the one that she didn't even last a full minute on last week. Taking a few deep breaths, she slowly worked her way through the level, making sure to be extra cautious of every jump. It took her a little bit longer than she would have liked, but before she knew it, she had made her way through this level as well. A short Roy fight later, and for the first time, the run was alive with only 2 worlds to go. Starting up World 7, Toadette was feeling pretty good. She knew the stages here well, and despite World 7 being late in the game, these levels really didn't seem that difficult to her. Making her way through the first part of the stage, she had no issues whatsoever, reaching the cloud auto-scroller in the middle without even losing her power-up. Little did she know, this was where everything would go wrong. Quiz time! What do you think happens to Toadette on the cloud section? Is it A, she tried to move ahead of the cloud and fell off? B, she accidentally got hit twice by enemies and died? C, she blocked her own path with an ice block and fell off? Or D, she lost the run because she was not subscribed to raysfire on YouTube? Well, if you guessed D... No, I'm just kidding. But you should subscribe though. If you guessed C, you're right. If you thought Toadette's first death was embarrassing, this took it to an entirely new level. Imagine losing a run due to your own power-up. Ouch. The crown is, like, broken. You just turn into Peach. Wait, crap. Dude, are you kidding me? I killed- Okay, man. Alright, you know what? Get me out of here. What the heck was that? What was that? What do you want me to do? What was that? I can't even go through that. That's the worst way possible to die. I actually could not... I don't think there's anything I could do. The following run seemed decent enough. Despite a bizarre death by Mario in a level he didn't even intend to be on in the first place. I'm gonna be delicate here. Delicate operation. Okay. Oh, no. I timed out? Are you kidding me? I died to a timeout? Okay, whatever. Sure, why not? I didn't even know you could time out on this. I didn't know there was a timer. And yet another Luigi death at the hands of the Bramball. Well, dude, I thought I was in there. We were not. Okay, well, there goes Luigi. You know what? I've died on this level before. It's something about the Bramballs, man. They've got some weird movement. Toad really helped to pick up the slack. With a flawless World 5 and 6, before he knew it, Toad had made it to World 7, a land that had only ever been seen by Toadette prior. This time around, he made extra sure not to make the same mistake his friend had made. I need to, before we go into the first level of World 7, I need to make sure we're all on the same page. I do not want the ice power-up in this world, because I had it in World 7 last time, and I died because I used the ice flower to make a piranha plant an ice block, which created a pathway that I could not cross, and I died, okay? We're not gonna do that again. It's not happening. So I want to make sure that we are all on the same page before I go into World 7 about the ice flower. Okay? we're not doing that again. And after a cautious first level, was zooming. As he finished the ghost house in World 7, for once, Peach's castle actually seemed in reach. However, all good things must come to an end, and on Bouncy Cloud Boomerangs, a rough death on a piranha plant spelled the end of Toad's God Run. Dude, this guy's trying to- Oh, no! We got wrecked by the- We got ripped by the planted. It's over.
Well, at least we still had Toadette to make it through to the end, right?
Don't wink at me. I don't want to see that, lady. Keep it to yourself. I'm sorry, that was rude. I shouldn't lash out like that.
Okay, well, maybe not. The group tried to get a few more runs going, but due to how quickly everything had gone wrong, they were completely demoralized, and it was clear that it wasn't going to happen today either. At this point, the group had been attempting this challenge off and on for nearly a month, and had been demoralized time and time again, dying in ways that they didn't even know were possible until they happened. All they wanted to do was find a way to save the princess on their own terms, something to spice up the experience for themselves instead of falling into the same boring routine. And yet, here they were, still princessless and stuck at square one. Now, I get that Mario's a pretty adventurous guy, but perhaps, maybe for the first time, he bit off a bit more than he could chew with this. He's not one to quit though, so instead of backing down, he gathered up the group and began again. But today, things were different. I'm not sure if it was the smell of success, or maybe just a fire.
Mario time.
Oh, we're fire alarming again, dude. Okay, man. All right, I'll be right back. We gotta do this crap again. SMH. Also, for the record, I can't take the batteries out. This is for the entire building. And you have to wait until the firefighters, that's the word, they have to get here and come in and turn it off. So you have to wait every time it goes off for the fire department to get in the car, they have to drive here, they gotta go in the room, they gotta turn it off. Okay, so it's like 15 minutes every time. Okay, fire truck just got here. It's gonna turn off in a second. Just watch. They're gonna go in, they're gonna hit one button, it's just gonna go away. Oh, look at that. It's gone. Classic.
Okay, false alarm, no fire. It was definitely the smell of success.
What do you mean you didn't go in the pipe? Oh, we're going again? Yo, back-to-back fire alarm? It's been like 5 minutes. This is a new record. Let's go, dude. I'm actually popping off right now. I'm popping off. Let's go. Bring them back. Bring back the fire guys. Let's go. The dirty two-time, man. Let's go, dude. Okay, wait, hold up. No, I'm not gonna move out yet, but I gotta go say hi to the fire people. I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up, dude? We're on a first name basis at this point. They're probably not even back at the station yet, dude. Okay, I gotta pause my timer.
Despite 2 interruptions in the middle of his run, Mario was absolutely flying, taking out the first 3 worlds with no issues, showing just how much he wanted this to be done. While he did eventually go down in World 4, his brother had other plans and got eliminated after just a single stage.
Okay.
But Toad, a seasoned veteran of the mid-game at this point, was more than ready to pick up the torch where Luigi dropped it, finishing up the remainder of World 4, all of Worlds 5, 6, and 7, and before he knew it, he was on Bowser's very own airship, staring down Peach's castle. Now, the first half of this level went totally fine. It was nothing more than a simple auto-scroller, but after reaching the end of the airship and staring down Bowser Jr. high in the sky, his nerves got the best of him, and despite how well he'd played up until this point, a punch to the face was all it took for him to come crashing down.
Oh, I hate this, actually. I hate this fight. We gotta be careful here. It's so easy to die on this. Just like that, actually.
So now, on the best run yet, nearly a month into the challenge, it all came down to a single person. With a mere world left standing between her and the finish line, Toadette once again stepped up to the plate. Deep down she was nervous, but she knew how much the rest of the squad needed her. And after all of the time she'd fallen short prior, she wasn't going to let it happen again this time. Taking down BJR with ease, she barged into World 8, and for the first time, Peach's castle was in sight. It wouldn't be easy, but the goal had never felt as achievable to her as it did in this moment. After taking a moment to catch her breath and gather her thoughts, she started up the final gauntlet. Slowly but surely, she pushed forward into the endgame. But unlike previous runs, it was very clear that she was locked in and focused up. It took her a mere 10 minutes to clear the first 4 levels in the world, and suddenly the only thing standing between Toadette and the finish line of their challenge was Bowser himself.
All right, we gotta close it out here. Gotta close it out, though. We're not done yet, okay? 9th inning, 2 outs. Gotta get the final out before the run is over, okay?
Bowser, the guy who was responsible for wearing out Mario and his friends mentally by stealing the princess repeatedly, just so he could sit back and laugh with Peach as they were forced to do the same boring journey time and time again. But for the first time ever, the crew were fighting Bowser on their terms, not his. And this meant there would be no mercy. Going into the fight still holding an ice flower, Toadette absolutely crushed. Within 1 minute of the battle starting, Toadette had pushed Bowser to the edge without even taking a single hit of damage of her own. While she did eventually get hit by a stray fireball, it was too little too late, and just as quickly as it had begun, it was over.
Oh, that was a close one, dude. We pulled it off. Final life, dude. What a moment!
As Bowser fell from the castle, you could tell things were different. It was clear that the Mario crew wouldn't be playing into his and Peach's little game anymore, and if they did show up to the castle, it would be on their own terms, with no mercy given. He'd either need to up his game, or his control over Mario and the Mushroom Kingdom was over. Now, it might look like Peach was genuinely happy to be saved, but trust me, you can see the frustration in her eyes. She knows her days of being a puppet master over Mario and company were coming to an end. Perhaps maybe next time she'll raise the stakes on them even further. Who knows? But for now, Mario can finally sleep easy, knowing he's in control of his own destiny once again.